Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ross Griffin podcast. This episode's a little bit different and quite a bit shorter than what I usually release, and that's because it is a little bit of a in-between episode, or a in-betweener, or inbetween-a-sode, or whatever you want to call it. The idea with this is that I just read through some content or talk about a topic for about 5 to 20 minutes from my blog or from my YouTube channel or something that might be on my mind. I hope you enjoy it, and just bear with me until I get the next guest on the show. You don't want to be famous. Wouldn't it be nice if people noticed? This is a question that I've asked myself many times. Perhaps not outright, but something similar has crossed my mind. Wouldn't it be nice if my boss noticed how hard I'm working? Wouldn't it be nice if people noticed my pictures on Instagram? Many people, myself included, have been tricked into thinking that fame would change their lives. They're not wrong. Fame will change your life. There is a strong narrative that exists online at the moment. All you have to do is become a creator. Create some content, pictures, tweets, videos, or dances on TikTok. Why? Because you'll be liberated from the 9 to 5. Your time will become your own and you'll earn financial freedom. If we take a look at more traditional definition of fame, we get the following picture in our minds. And in this article, I've inserted a picture of some celebrity being inundated with cameras and paparazzi. Now, the fame that I'm talking about is different. Instead of being characterized by fangirls and the paparazzi, instead it takes on the form of followers, retweets, stitches, and likes. There is nothing wrong with this type of fame. I work in marketing and I'm a strong believer in the personal brand. But I want to paint a picture of what having a strong online presence can look like. I want to give you a glimpse into the non-glamorous side of it. Now hold up, who the heck am I even to be talking about this topic? I don't have more than 100 followers on most social networks. This is true, and I'll get to that in a second. When I started this blog, it was my hope that I'd be able to create a solid following and monetize. When I was working a 9 to 5, this blog was my lifeline. I started the blog because I loved learning new things and sharing what I've learned with people. I would read voraciously and write with equal passion about the nuggets that I'd unearthed in the depths of pages. Over time, my passion was replaced with a sense of duty. I felt that I had to release the next bit of content. After all, that is what content creators do. It's all about the grind. My blog is growing. At the time of writing this website gets about 7,000 users per month, and this is growing on a monthly basis. Many of these visitors are unique, meaning that over a period of 6 months, over 40,000 people have read my writing. This is a staggering number and it's hard to visualize. So let's get back to that question that I asked. Hold up, who the heck am I to even be talking about this topic? Because I barely have any more than 100 followers on most social networks. So to answer this question, I may not be famous in the traditional sense, but I've had a little taste of what comes with fame. Or at least I've seen that unpleasant side of having mass exposure. Before I continue, I'm by no means discouraging you from seeking fame. The content creator community is great. It has helped thousands, if not millions of people escape the 9 to 5 and create a better life for their families. My goal here, as I said before, is to give a taste of what you can expect, especially when you gather a few thousand followers. So here we go. Random strangers will criticize you, sometimes flat out insult you. The anonymity of the internet can bring out the worst in people. And I've seen this on my blogs where I'm just giving out advice for free and people criticize you for making a little mistake. And you're just like, come on, man, I'm giving you free help and you can't be anything but nice. You'll get 1,000-word essays from people sharing their life stories. And honestly, way too much detail that you never wanted to know. I've had this happen to me a few times now where someone has sent me a long email detailing what they do, and it's just like way too much information, and you still kind of have this sense of duty that you need to respond. When you start to build a larger audience, you'll have to answer questions and comments on a daily basis. At first this is cool because here are these people reading your content, but after a while it really does get old. And if that's not for you and you don't enjoy it, you just need to be aware of that. People will attempt to dox you. This can be particularly scary. In my case, it was some admins on a Reddit subreddit that threatened to spread false information about my views with my customers. When I think about that instance in retrospect, it would likely have had little to no negative repercussions. But it was a still terrifying moment. Enough of the negative stuff. I've realized that most people are somewhat good. A majority of the comments that I get on my blogs and my YouTube videos are positive. They're usually people saying thank you. It's important to weigh up the upside versus the downside. Sometimes the downside can outweigh the upside. In my case, I have not reached the tipping point yet. I haven't reached the point where I've said, hey, this is not worth doing. Releasing content online is not worth doing. I definitely write less, and when I do, it's because I have a desire to talk about a topic that is important to me. For example, this very essay is an essay I know won't get thousands of views, but it's something that I enjoyed writing about. This type of content gets less views and clicks, but it's more fun for me, and that's the important part. So my question to you, my dear listener, do you want fame, or do you just want to be noticed? This episode is brought to you by The Roundup. It is my very own newsletter, and it is a weekly newsletter that I send out to currently over 300 people every week. It's growing incredibly fast. By between 30 and 50 people per month are subscribing to this newsletter. Every week I share at least one cool thing that I found on the internet, a thought of my own or a synthesis of the two, as well as tips, tricks, and other interesting things to do with entrepreneurship, self-development, and productivity. You can head over to my website, rossgriffin.com, and hit the newsletter tab to subscribe. The newsletter is also a great place to ask me questions, interface with me, and possibly even get onto this podcast if that's what you so desire.